Okay, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring a really fascinating text titled Beyond the Paycheck, The Path to Wealth. Now, look, if you've been optimizing your career path, trying to increase your earning potential, and strategizing around that next big compensation bump, you already understand the basic mechanics of generating an income. But what we're deconstructing today is a much deeper argument from the source material about where that income actually leads you. It's a fairly concise read, but the implications for how we structure our financial lives, they're absolutely profound. I am super eager to unpack this core message with you step by step. So this brings us to a kind of uncomfortable question. Will your salary actually make you wealthy? We live and operate in a system where scaling your salary is pretty much widely considered the ultimate metric of professional and financial success, right? Because of that, it's super easy to just assume that scaling your paycheck automatically scales your long-term wealth. But the text we're analyzing today fundamentally challenges that entire assumption. It asks us to look really closely at our earning strategies and question if trading our time for premium dollars is actually building a lasting financial fortress, or if it's really just funding a higher baseline of living. The absolutely crucial point we're investigating today is the stark disconnect between those two very different outcomes. The source material frames relying purely on a salary as the paycheck illusion, and it calls it an illusion because, structurally speaking, a salary is entirely tethered to active effort. The exact moment you step away from your role, boom, that income stream completely stops flowing. That active revenue generation stands in really sharp contrast to true wealth and financial freedom. The fundamental argument here is that these are completely distinct ecosystems. Having a massive income does not automatically transport you into a state of financial independence. True wealth operates on a completely different set of architectural rules than simply collecting a recurring paycheck, literally regardless of how large or prestigious that paycheck might happen to be. So the source pushes us to redefine a concept that honestly gets casually thrown around all the time. It defines financial freedom strictly as a state of true wealth achieved by looking beyond the reliance on a standard salary or paycheck. Now, notice what is structurally absent from that framework. It doesn't define freedom as just reaching some specific high watermark in your annual compensation. Reaching this state requires a strategic pivot in how you manage your resources. You simply cannot achieve true financial independence if your entire economic foundation rests on the absolute requirement of your next paycheck arriving on time. The text argues that you've got to train yourself to systematically build beyond that single point of failure. Honestly, the core of this whole argument really comes down to one distinct, powerful point from the text. Income alone is not the key to financial freedom. That single premise completely upends the traditional playbook. You can generate a massive amount of cash flow, but if you remain entirely dependent on trading your active, specialized time just to sustain it, you're still bound to the exact same mechanical loop. The source is explicitly pointing out that if our sole focus is just on accelerating our income, we are entirely missing the actual mechanics of wealth creation. Generating a strong income is a really valuable starting point, a powerful tool even, but used in total isolation, it's a dead end on the path to genuine autonomy. Well, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with a final, somewhat provocative thought to really chew on. Are you ready to look beyond the paycheck? We've seen exactly what the source material argues, that scaling your salary fundamentally won't make you wealthy on its own, and that true financial independence requires a total paradigm shift in how you deploy the capital you actually earn. So what does that pivot look like for your own portfolio? If income alone isn't the key, what structural changes do you need to implement next? I highly encourage you to take this framework, overlay it onto your own financial trajectory, and start asking yourself those hard questions. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope it offers a fresh perspective the very next time that direct deposit hits your account.